We are go. This is. I am excited. Can you hear it in my voice? Yes. So, very well. We're going to cover a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. And we're also going to talk about, well, things that happen in my life. And we're going to do paranormal and the weird in general. I think it'll be a blast. I am excited as hell for this, guys. This is gonna be just great shit. Anyway, this song I should let everyone know is Cloud 9 by Valesco, and it is used to the Creative Commons license. Implications? Draw your own conclusions. Who am I exactly? Well, I'm Manion. I'm a guy that pretends to be a dragon on the internet. Broadcasting is my passion. I want to do this for my career, which is why I'll be heading to Western Carolina University in the fall to earn my degree in communication. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Along with that, this is going to be a little thing on a Slice of Life podcast, commentary on made things in the fandom I've had 3 years, and just the paranormal and fun in general. That's a basic idea about me. If you want to learn more, of course, you can contact me on the Twitters, and you can follow the Mannycast too, at the Mannycast. And if you just want to email me, it is mbdf56@gmail.com. Well, real quick, I'm going to take a quick break. I need to calm down. My heart is racing as hell. Don't worry, I'll be right back. This is the Mannycast. Stay where you are. And we're back! I got my water now. Let's get into our topic. We're going to start today's podcast with RMFC. Now, RMFC, Rocky Mountain FurCon, was shut down in April. And big story in April. I wanted to talk about it back then, but I was waiting to get, back in April, but I was waiting to get this microphone. The person I originally bought it from didn't ship it, so I had to buy it again from somebody else. It wasn't fun. I had to get Amazon all and everything. Wait, thank you, Amazon. Anyway, to RMFC. So this whole stems from a group called the Furry Raiders. Now, they're a group that their symbol is very similar to the Nazi armband, which is a very bad design choice if you're making a group. I will. That is not a good design choice at all. And when people have seen this, they believe that they are Nazis. However, from some of the research that I have done with the Furry Raiders themselves, I found their Wikifur page. The biggest problem, thing that I've seen with the Furry Raiders, I haven't seen them, do anything with Nazi ideology. It is a bad symbol. It's a very, very bad symbol, I will say, though, because if you're just going to make a group, don't invoke Nazi imagery in your design choice. That's my opinion. But so far, I haven't really found much reason to call them Nazis. So someone a person on Twitter was talking about how the Furry Raiders are, quote, Nazi motherfuckers. And this person called Dio replied to her with, "Can't wait to punch these Nazis." That's the quote. "Can't wait to punch these Nazis." Person named Olivia replied with, quote, "Watching you get shot by someone defend themselves from unprovoked assault will be far more entertaining." Another person replies that, "Sure hope you're not suggesting that someone would bring a gun to the convention." Olivia replies with, "Sure hope you're not planning on attacking innocent folks." I fully support legal concealed carry. And the tweet has ended from there, and then Dio says to them, are you threatening to bring a gun to RMFC? There are some problems in this. The first thing is that Dio takes the whole watching you get shot by someone defending themselves as a threat. It wasn't exactly a threat like, I'm going to bring the gun to RMFC and I'm going to shoot you. Nothing like that. If that was the threat, then yeah, more power to Dio. She should report it. But also a problem notice with this is that Dio said, can't wait to punch these Nazis. That's kind of a threat too. The other thing I noticed, if you ever look at this article, it's by Dog Patch Pie, that's called Rocky Mountain Furcon Backs Neo-Nazis Sex Offender to Intimidate Critic for Reporting Threat. And the author is, well, it's a staff itself, but I can see why they didn't do it, because it's not a good article. It's like the Wall Street Journal and PewDiePie. Anyway, so Dio reports the threat. She wasn't going to the convention, and RMFC, this is the best part of this, RMFC, the people who run there are sovereign citizens. You know, the whole, do you suspect me of a crime? According to People vs. Battle, traffic infractions are not crimes. Article 4, free inhabitant pursuant to the Articles of Confederation. Yeah, that stuff. It's really fucking stupid. So they send a very, very bad cease and desist letter. And I'm quoting from the website lawyersandliquor.com. These are some of their threats. Incite to riot. Impairment of contract obligations between conventions, performers, and venues. Trespass on contract obligations. Libel, false accusations, assault, defamation, other potential criminal activities under investigation, which we may report to the FBI. First, and the article does note this, is anyone shaking their head at the irony in a sovereign citizen on the relying on the law enforcement agencies of the government? They don't recognize, because the sovereign citizen does not recognize the national United States government. They recognize the state government. They're like, oh, I'm an individual, my name is a corporation. That sort of stuff. So, and you can read the article for yourself, but I'm just giving you a basic idea that the list is bad. The other part that shows how bad the list is this part. The beginning part is really a bad point. Quote, commercial injury damages against us and ours and possible other plaintiffs, including but not limited to Furry Raiders, BLFC, 2 Griffin, and many others yet to be discovered and named in a possible class action lawsuit as we continue to investigate these potential crimes, end quote. The problem with this is, and I have seen 2 Griffin's video on this, you should watch it, is that 2 has said himself he was never contacted by Kendall Emery, the head of RMFC. So that's not so that you can't just say you could be a possible plaintiff and then say, oh, right, this guy I haven't talked to yet. The Furry Raiders, what I also heard from 2, they don't make money as a group, so how could they be a victim of substantial commercial injury? And the letter goes on, it's very bad. I'll link the article that shows this. And he signed it with his thumbprint, which I guess is it's a sovereign citizen thing, I guess. So it's this keeps on going. It's just that Kendall Emery is apparently a rapist or whatever. However, he is, and it's somewhat true, he is on the Colorado sex offender list. However, the thing is that the actual offender conviction it's from 1993. It's criminal sexual contact with a minor, which could mean a lot of things. I'm not going to go into what they could be, but it doesn't say rape. But that's what Diaz was trying to say, that they were rapists. They always said that he was a rapist. And RMFC, they They had just done paying taxes. They couldn't afford the $22,000 cost for security. So they had to shut down. It's very, very, it's one of those things that it's just everyone involved is somewhat in the wrong. Dio's wrong for taking what someone said was defending themselves as a gun threat and saying, can't wait to punch these Nazis. But then saying, I was so scared. The people at RMFC are wrong for sending a bafflingly bad cease and desist letter. It's really a bad situation that no one can really benefit from. Anyway, that is just my thought on this. I will link the articles from Dogpatch Press and from lawyersandliquor.com. I do love the ending of this. It kind of makes me chuckle. Stay tuned for the next parts where Dogpatch Press covers even more news tied to fascist furry. See, that's the thing I don't like. What's the point of them being fascist? I don't understand. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Let's get off that, and let's get into a little thing I like to call Maddie and the Paranormal. Yes, this segment will talk on the paranormal and just the odd. Our first story comes from Coast to Coast AM, hoverboard dentist in hot water. Now, I had my tonsils taken out when I was younger. I cannot imagine if my doctor, if hoverboards were around that time, trying to cut the tonsils out of my mouth with a scalpel while on a hoverboard. But anyway, a dentist in Alaska faces a litany of charges after authorities say he pulled out a patient's tooth while riding a hoverboard. Following a lengthy investigation that involved both the FBI and DEA, Seth Lookhart was arrested for numerous crimes involving fraudulent medical charges as well as the worrisome-sounding unlawful dental acts. The latter allegations against Lookhart are particularly bizarre, and investigators claim the dentist himself filmed himself on a hoverboard in his office and then extracting the tooth of an unwitting patient while riding the device. Because one cannot simply keep such a video to themselves, and Lookhart allegedly forwarded the footage to friends and boasted that it was a new set of care. As one might expect and feel the unfortunate former owner of the lost tooth told authorities that she had no recollection of the hoverboard, or that Lookhart had filmed the procedure. Wow. I can't imagine that. That's one of those things that's just, you have to see it to believe it. Now our next story on the paranormal comes from Coast to Coast AM as well. The first part of this article deals with shadow governments and whatnot, that sort of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about time travel. But we've all wondered, what if we had a TARDIS or a time machine? Well, because according to Dr. Ben Tippett from the University of British Columbia, it's real. Dr. Ben Tippett created a formula based on Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, which states that huge cosmic objects like stars and black holes distort space and time. In the second half of the show, he explained how a recent detection of gravitational waves created by distant colliding black holes confirmed Einstein's theory of time travel. Quote, mathematical models that allow people to travel backwards in time have existed since the 1950s. Tippett noting how Einstein connected time to the three spatial dimensions. A consequence of space and time being fastened together as the rate time passed depends on one's notion, he added. Tippett explained how in his model, it is mathematically possible to travel back in time with a TARDIS-type vehicle, but not possible to change the past in any way. With the time machine, one would go in a circle forward, sideways, and backward in time, he revealed, noting how the movie 12 Monkeys comes the closest to approximating actual time travel. I don't know if any of you have seen, there's like these videos, speaking of time travel, I've seen these videos like, it's top 10 proof that time travel exists. But I think traveling back in time would be fun. But then at the same time, you'd have to be like extremely careful, like, not cause a paradox, or you go back in time to do this and it causes this in the future, so in time you change the past. Although tip if need is possible. Got anything else for this segment? Well, let me know. Tweet me at MannyGurleyDurgan, or you can email into me at the email I mentioned the show at mbdf56@gmail.com. Alright, let's talk about just me in general. This will be a little real life thing. We're going to talk about some events. My first ever account, my buddy. And we're going to talk about this whole thing with this microphone.
So people, stay where you are. This is...
So let's get it. First happened this morning. I love this. So normally in the mornings I occasionally take a look and see what's going on my Twitter. I get a message from a Canadian bud, Don, and it's a screenshot of Steve Shives' Twitter account. And he was blocked by Steve Shives. Now, if you don't know who Steve Shives is, Steve Shives is, and I'm gonna look at this according to the Rational Wiki, is an quote from the Drunken Peasants Wiki. It is: Steve Shives is a much-aligned atheist YouTuber and a feminist blogger/ranter. Essentially a mid-tier, ultra-liberal feminist, humanist atheist. End quote. And apparently he'd been blocking people at random that had probably like nothing, that never tweeted to him. So I told him, let me go see. And before you know, look who got blocked by the Shive Man. Yours truly. I really gotta ask everybody else who's listening, go do check if Steve Shives has blocked you. His Twitter is at Steve_Shives. Do please check that out, because I just want to know who's been blocked by Steve Shives and who hasn't. But that happened today. Now I'm going to talk about a little fur meet I did. So last Saturday, I went up to Raleigh with my friend Pioneer. He's not that active on FA. I think he was FA, but it's kind of inactive now. He had invited me there when we were both helping out with the musical. And I remember him telling me, Manny, fursuits, they're pretty large when you see them in person. And I initially got like, whatever. And then when you're like up close to one and the person in suit hugs you, oh my God, man. Like, I can't remember who the guy was. Oh my goodness. He was like his character was a dinosaur, or a dinosaur-ish thing. And he gave me a thing like he was DJing at some club in Raleigh. Was going to go to the SPCA of Wake County. He was pretty cool. Yeah, it was very, very fun. It was a very cool fursuit. I liked it. And I remember getting hugged by it. That's just something. It felt really good. And I'm like, wow. Later on that day, I remember it was essentially like a cookout-ish event where we all just made up and talk. It was nice. I remember we went up to like the front of Pullen Park where they had an event with the firefighters there. And they had because they have like the mascot, like it's a cat, a bunny, and an apple. An anthropomorphic apple. Hey, apple. And I remember we came down over there and everybody starts coming over, like the little kids, like they all start coming down the people that are in fursuit. And I remember saying, yeah, we're competing with the firefighters now, and we won the war. But it was a great event. I got to meet some cool people. They gave me this, I got this Carolina Furs little pin that has it's pretty much the logo of the Carolina Furs FA page, but I like it. That's been a fun. That was a good part I did. I guess now I can say I'm an official furry because I actually got off the internet and went out to meet people. So what else do I want? Oh yes, let's talk about this mic, because this whole idea for this podcast started when I said, What if I did a Canadian friend? Don was like, man, food I gift card for Easter. It was around Easter time. I got a gift card for Easter and I to buy this microphone. I've shared some pictures of it. It's a Songhua professional microphone. That's the name of the brand, Songhua. Soonhua. That's how it's spelled. On April 16th, and it was apparently shipped the next day. The first problem with it, there was no, like, the carrier is USPS or DHL or FedEx. It was just post. And whenever I was like, oh, I'm gonna track it, the tracking number did not exist. I didn't find that out until a while later, and the date was like arriving April 21st to May 8th. Or something like that, and I was like, what? Why is it taking a month? But I waited just because I was like, maybe it's a worldwide shipment. It didn't come that day, and I called up Amazon, and I was like, here, can you help me out? Sure, we're happy to help you out. What's the shipment? And I gave him the microphone, and he was like, wait a second, the person's not shipped the product. And I immediately thought, you have got to be kidding me. Somebody is going to get it, and when Manny comes to town to find someone, he's going to find him. Anyway, they said, we're going to file the A to Z report with anyone. If you can't resolve, if it's pretty much them saying you can get a refund. And I got a refund, and I used it to help get this one that arrived yesterday. This arrived yesterday, actually. It's a beautiful microphone. Such a beautiful microphone. I mean, I can reflect on its beauty. Maybe I'll just use it and I'll be like an ASMR channel. I'll be like, hey, this is Manny Whispers, and we're going to let you listen to the soft, soothing sound of my voice. It's in left field right now, but I swear, let the calm voice of a dragon soothe your mind, human. Let it soothe your mind. Let it fill your mind with reducing thoughts. Make it relax with thoughts of making you into your Sona. Relax, young Sona. I had no clue what I was going for there. That's it for episode 1, guys. If you want to see more content on the podcast, please link it to me. My Twitter is, of course, @MannyGirlDurgan, and you can also follow the official MannyCast Twitter, that is @TheMannyCast. For those viewers on YouTube, if you like the video, if you like today's podcast, give a like. It means a lot to me starting this whole venture out. If you do, give a like. Along with that, if you like it, please subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell to get constant notifications. One other places to find me, you can also find me on Mind. My Mind's Academian, Eurasia Virete. That's all for today's podcast, guys. Of course, with Manny, this has been the MannyCast. Have a grand day or night, wherever you lovely creatures may be.